Coordinator. My name is Chris Swanson, the Sheriff of Genesee County. On June 15th, 2022, this office, along with the partners you see behind me, responded to an outfall, which is the end of a sewer pipe that led into the Flint River. There were three questions we wanted to find out when we were dispatched because of the courageous observation of somebody who fishes the Flint River. When you saw the outfall and you saw the product that was coming from there, we need to determine, number one, how did it happen? Number two, who is responsible? Number three, how do we protect our waterways, our marine life? How do we protect the citizens? But the fourth one is the biggest question, is how do we keep it from ever happening again? This community is all too familiar with decisions made by high officials that impact people. I'm here to tell you that the decisions that were made that brought us to where we are today are historical, record-setting, because of the people and the leadership of not only Attorney General Nessel and her office, but also Eagle, the prosecutor, our friends at the DNR, our county commission, our mayor, and the city of Flint. This is a true example of bureaucracies working together for the good of the people. Now, there's a lot of questions still to answer, but I will promise you this. From that moment that we were dispatched on June 15th until we stand here today, we have not stopped our investigation and our accountability. Eagle has worked tenaciously to keep it from happening again, and we have a lot of work to do. One thing I'm also happy to report is what you're about to hear from Attorney General is because of her leadership and the leadership of the Director of Eagle, we have sheriffs, investigators, and patrol cars on site at at Lockhart as we speak. We're going to continue our investigation, work with our Lockhart Chemical Company, but we are embedded in making sure this doesn't happen again. And part of that is holding people accountable. If there's one thing that I want to impress on the people is when we work together and we hold people accountable, it's what the people want. And that's what we're here to witness today. So I thank everybody for coming. I thank the people behind me. And I could not have done this without the constant. And when I talk about constant, Thursday night, 10 o'clock p.m. calls, Saturday calls, Sunday meetings with Attorney General Nessel, her Solicitor General Fadwa Hamoud. It has been a non-stop roller coaster, and it is an honor and a privilege to have her back to show her support of the people in Flint, Genesee County, and the state of Michigan. Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Thanks, Sheriff. So let me say this. Michigan residents expect businesses to operate in their communities, to be good neighbors, and to be good partners. And that partnership is made up of more than just contributions to a local economy. It also means being invested in the health and in the vitality of the people, neighborhoods, and environment. Businesses that neglect their responsibilities put people at risk, and we simply cannot stand for that type of disregard. So earlier today, staff from Eagle, from my department, from the Sheriff's Department, all delivered an order on Lockhart Chemical Company requiring them to immediately stop the use of defective wastewater and stormwater conveyance systems and to pump the facility's wastewater and stormwater for off-site disposal. Now, this order that was authorized under Michigan's Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act requires Lockhart to immediately cease the use of leaky underground tunnels that carry the facility's wastewater off-site for treatment. Eagle used laboratory chemical analysis fingerprinting to establish that the pollutants entering the Flint River near Lockhart are a match to the wastewater inside the facility. This action follows the efforts of Eagle to seek voluntary action from Lockhart to fix the problem, but to no avail. I made a commitment to the residents of Flint that I would not stand by and allow any entity to endanger the health, safety, or welfare of this community, and today I am making good on my promise. I will not allow a company to threaten the safety of residents and the health of our environment here or anywhere else. Lockhart was given multiple opportunities to correct these problems at their facility, and they simply refused. And now they must face the consequences. The order requires Lockhart to immediately stop using specific underground tunnels that Eagle confirmed leaked contaminated wastewater into the soil and then into storm sewers, which then emptied into the Flint River. Lockhart is further required to pump its wastewater into above-ground tanks for disposal off-site unless or until Lockhart implements the approved fixes to its system, such as lining the tunnels and other conveyances for wastewater. Lockhart is also ordered to put protective structures around leaking pumps on the facility and to provide photographic documentation of its progress in meeting the requirements of this order. Just a few things. I want to thank the Director Clark and all the amazing staff at the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy for their phenomenal partnership, their hard work, and their quick action. My understanding is this is the first such order ever to be issued since 1998. I'd like to thank Sheriff Swanson for his tireless commitment to his constituents. Honestly, I've been doing this a long time. Never in my career have I ever seen a county sheriff perform this kind of investigation involving an environmental crisis. And lastly, I want to thank my Solicitor General, Fadwa Hammoud, and my incredible staff at the Department of Attorney General in our NRA division, and that includes Peter Manning. It includes Polly Sink, who's here with us today, who can answer specific questions about this. Everyone in the NRA staff who worked hand in hand with Eagle and with the Sheriff's Department. Fadwa has been unwavering in her support of the residents of the city of Flint in all matters, in her never-ending pursuit of justice, including, of course, environmental justice. So I look forward to Lockhart taking prompt action to comply with this order so that Flint can be assured that no additional damage is done to the local environment. And with that, I would like to pass things along to Commissioner Clemens, Chairman of the Genesee County Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, and I want to say thank you to everyone that's been a part of this operation, from our Sheriff's Office, who's leading through the emergency management, as well as our partners at DNR and Eagle and other state agencies. I want to also make it very clear that this first started because one of our residents, a citizen of this community, saw something happening and they spoke up. And that is such an important thing. When we see anything happening in this community, we need to make sure that we speak up and stand out for truths and for facts to be presented. That's how we were able to lead and start this investigation that, as you all remember, over the summer, where we found the outfall, that we were able to put a stop to that, put precautions in place. Through the work of Eagle and through the investigative branch of our Sheriff's Department, we saw continued violations continue to happen, and that's when we went into action to get to where we are at today. And with any business, we are always grateful and excited to have business and opportunity here in Genesee County. But business, individual or otherwise, people that are causing harm to our community and to our residents will not stand here in Genesee County, and we will continue to hold those folks accountable. As one thing that we know when it comes to environmental justice is often communities such as Flint and Genesee County, communities of color, low-income communities, they get hit the hardest and get hit the worst, and oftentimes with no recourse, with no remediation. The sheriff, the attorney general, and myself, we are standing together to say that's not what's going to happen here in Flint. That's not how things are happening anymore in Genesee County. This leadership is going to be holding people accountable. And again, I thank them for their leadership, and I thank our community for, again, being the voice and making sure that we were aware of what's going on so that we could correct and work on remediating this issue. Now I'll turn it over to the mayor of the city of Flint, Sheldon Neely.
Thank you. This is another great day that God has brought us together for this wonderful announcement of enforcement. You know, far too often communities of color and underserved communities are riddled with these type of violators. I want to thank our Attorney General Dana Nessel, also our Sheriff Sheriff Swanson, for their level of partnership with this shutdown of this illegal action that this company has participated in. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen Oil Chem, and they were criminally prosecuted for their violations with this environmental engagement in these communities like Flint. And I just want to really express my sincere appreciation for our Attorney General. Dana Nessel said she would not forget about the residents of the city of Flint, and she has not. She fulfilled her promise and her commitment to this community. Our Sheriff Swanson, engaged in an investigation and also is coordinating the part of the cleanup efforts that we're doing. And also Lisa Clark, which is over EGLE, our Environmental Protection Agency of the state of Michigan. All of these components have come together with the level of partnership, prayer, planning, and partnership. Partnership is the platform for progress. As we shut down these illegal companies from their illegal engagements, polluting our environment, we must stay watchful, much like the resident who reported what they saw going on at Lockhart. We all must maintain a level of watchmanship and partnership with one another to make sure that we can eliminate these illegal violators inside of our city. And once again, the level of partnership with our prosecutor, David Layton, has been wonderful as well, with Swanson and Dana Nessel. And at this time, I want to turn it over to our prosecutor, David Layton.
You know, normally when I speak to you, it's about some violent crime that's occurred in our community, and we're talking about the victims of a violent crime or a property crime, and victims of environmental crimes are no less victims than any other victims of crime. And as Chairman Clemens correctly said, the victims of environmental crimes are often those who live in the cities, have had difficulties for one reason or another, live in poverty, and really can't fight back. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm proud to be a partner with Attorney General Nessel and Sheriff Swanson in fighting back about people who will take your environmental rights away from you. And I applaud the Attorney General for her action today, and I think it's a step towards ridding our community of toxic pollution. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Hugh McDermott of EGLE. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hugh McDermott. I'm the Communications Manager with the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. I'm standing in for our leader, Lisa Clark, the director who signed the order today. She's out of state, so she couldn't speak, but she would have liked to have been here. I don't have a lot to add to what's already been said, but due to the ongoing problems and poor track record of this particular company, it was essential that we do something swiftly and aggressively to try to bring them back into compliance, to protect our waterways and the health of Flint residents, and we won't leave this partnership until this company is able to abide by all the environmental laws that they're supposed to. I'd like to thank Sheriff Swanson, the Attorney General's office, Attorney General Nessel, Mayor Neely, Genesee Board of Commissioners, and everybody who's been a part of this partnership, because it's been really helpful in holding this company's feet to the fire. Thank you.
Now we're almost done. We are going to open up for some questions, but we have with us Pastor Derek Aldridge, a voice of the people, Representative Neely, Art Woodson. We have people that represent all parts of our area, because that oil slick reached 22 miles from the outfall to almost Saginaw County in Montrose. So this is not just a city of Flint concern. This is a community concern. And we have people, as I said, on site right now. We are going to maintain order. We're going to maintain, they've been very cooperative. We're working with their organization, but there's a lot that's to be determined. That order that the Attorney General spoke of had 36 findings, and we have submitted that order through our media friends so you could actually see it. 36 findings. They've got to fix them. Otherwise, we are going to take even a more severe action, and that's to be determined by the Attorney General. There's other things that are happening in the works that we're not able to talk about, but I will direct whatever questions you have to the right source. Would anybody like to ask a question?
When it comes to the cease and desist letter that was issued back by Mayor Neely in June, what's the difference between that and this order?
So the question is the cease and desist that was issued immediately by the City of Flint Waste and Water versus the order under that public act by the director of EGLE, Attorney General?
I'm gonna let Polly Sink from our Environmental, Natural Resources and Agriculture Division get into all the specifics on that. So, Polly, you wouldn't mind?
Sure. It's Polly Sink, S-Y-N-K, and I'm with the Attorney General's Office, Environment Division, Environment, Natural Resources, and Agriculture. The order that was issued by the city was the necessary immediate action, and what the statutory action by Eagle does is it prohibits use of certain infrastructure that is determined to be faulty and causing the leaks into the discharges into the Flint River, and that will remain in effect until approved plans that are fixes or ceased use or routing around it. Something has to be done to avoid using that. That comes with the power of the Michigan Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act.
The question is track record, yes. Why wasn't it done sooner? And again, I think as a team, we cannot answer for the sins of the past. Not past administrations, past decisions. Well, this is a laborious process because it is an environmental investigation that has civil implications and possible criminal implications, plus the cleanup. There's a lot of moving parts. So the answer to that is we moved as fast as we possibly could to get done what has needed to be done up until this point.
There's still discharge going into the Flint River at this time?
Is there discharge still going to the Flint River? And there is a sheen, but our booms are still in place catching them. Our emergency management coordination with Eagle continues to monitor that, so there's no additional risk. All the booms have been removed since we first implemented them in mid-June, but we don't take anything for granted. And I think after today's order, when they stop all product going into those trenches, that we will now see a clean discharge as demanded.
You mentioned that the report is available to media partners. Where can we find that?
So it was submitted by the Attorney General's media team. Anybody want to speak on that? But it was submitted with the press notice. And if you don't have it, I'll be happy to give you a copy of it. agpress@michigan.gov for any additional information.
And also, how long can we expect the process to be for replacing all that with the above ground stored stuff?
The question is, how long is it going to take to replace that? And I do not have an answer for that. But I will tell you, they have, in their best interest, a shorter timeline to get it fixed because they have a profit and they have a product, but they are not going to produce based on this order until it's fixed.
And finally, McDermott mentioned that this company has a track record. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think that the
Go ahead. You got to speak up here.
actual
Sure,
filing-
sir. You have to speak up here, please. That's all right.
I think that the actual filing will, when you see it, will give you, I think the Attorney General's folks laid out very succinctly all the violations and problems. You know where to find me if you have follow-up questions, but I think that once you find that filing, it will have all that information in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, our press release attaches the order, and the order lays all of that out, as you would have to do with any such order, to be very specific about indicating whatever violations have occurred in the past that led to the filing of such an order and the service of such order. So can we confirm that that went out with the press release? I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, it went out with a press release, so all of you should have access to that. And it's a step-by-step process. A lot of work went into that between Eagle and my department and, of course, the sheriff. And so it should have all the details that you're looking for that helps to establish the necessity for this order.
Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate your platforms and giving the message out. We have work to do. Thanks to all those that are part of this team, and there'll be more updates as it progresses. Have a great day.